What's up YouTube? This is going to be a multi-part guide that I've been and still am putting a lot of work into. I'm going to go over the basics of what you need to know about disc before you get into an arena, and I'm also going to go over everything that I can think of that you will want to know when you're in an actual arena in order to get far as a healer in any bracket. I have a lot of topics I want to cover, so in the description I'm going to put all of the topics I want to go over in the upcoming videos of this series so that you know what you can expect to see coming out of my channel. Seeing how this is the first video in the series, this video will be about the basics. Everything you need to know before you actually play Discipline in Arena. What glyphs to use, what talents to take, all of the macros that you'll want, and how to gem, enchant, and reforge your gear. Make sure to be subscribed to me so that you know when the other videos in this series come out, because if you're struggling as a Discipline Priest in Arena and can't get past a certain rating, you're going to want to watch the other videos that I'll be putting out because they're going to help you a lot. So let's start with the talents. For the first tier you have three choices: Void Tendrils for when you're facing a melee team, Siphoned, which is my go-to pick for 3v3 arena, and Dominate Mind, the best talent in my opinion for 2v2 arena. The reason why I choose Siphoned is because you don't need to worry about it and it'll fear more than one person at a time, completely taking them out of the game for a short period of time. The only time you want to change from Siphoned is when you're fighting a melee team, in which case you want to take Void Tendrils to root the enemy in place. For the second tier talents, there's only one choice: Body and Soul. If you're going to be taking advantage of Power Word Shield like you should, the speed boost from Body and Soul is worth it. For your third tier talent, what you really want to take is From Darkness Comes Light. This talent has a high chance of causing your next flash shield to be instant cast and also cost no mana whenever you use a healing spell. The reason why I recommend this talent is because you have a lot of time to use the procs, and off of the procs from the talent it can also sometimes cause even more procs. I've had it happen 4 times in a row before in an arena, and it really helps with keeping your team up. What I do sometimes when my team is at full health and I have procs from this talent, I'll put Spare Shell on my teammates so I'm not wasting any healing and I'm also mitigating even more damage. For the fourth tier, the only talent that you want is Spectral Guise. This talent is the best for the tier because when you use this, you can sneak up on the enemy and get off fears that you normally wouldn't be able to get without being invisible. Using this talent, you can also avoid incoming CC. By guising as the enemy is casting a CC on you, they will lose target of you and therefore stop casting, but if you use it too late, it won't work. For the fifth tier talents, the logical choice here, being a Discipline Priest, is Divine Insight. With this talent, whenever you cast Penance, which you should be using on cooldown, you will be able to use Power Word Shield regardless of the Weakened Soul debuff, and it will also not put the Weakened Soul debuff on the target. With this talent, you also benefit a lot more from the Body and Soul tier 2 talent. For your last talent, what you really want to get is Divine Star. The only real reason why you want to choose this talent is because you can use it after you get interrupted. Although it doesn't do as much healing as Halo for example, the ability to still heal while you're locked out of most of your spells is such a huge advantage in Arena. So now I'm going to go on to Glyphs. The only glyph that you never want to change is Penance. The reason for this is because the advantage that kiting while casting a spell is huge in Arena. You can even cast Penance and then run behind a pillar while you're still using it. For your other two glyph slots, you have a couple of choices: Master Spell, Shadow Word Death, Reflective Shield, or Prayer of Mending. In games against a Mage or Paladin, you always want to have Death and Master Spell glyph because you'll be able to get out of Polys and Repentances if you timed Shadow Word Death correctly, and you'll also be able to Master Spell Bubbles and Ice Blocks. For any other teams that you're facing, you want to swap out those two glyphs for Reflective Shield and Prayer of Mending. What Reflective Shield does is it reflects damage that's absorbed by your Power Word Shield back onto the enemy, and Prayer of Mending will cause your first tick from the spell to heal for 60% more, which is huge in Arena. Up next is macros. The macros I'm going to go over are the ones I use on a daily basis in Arena. The reason for the Shadow Word Death macro is so that I can easily cast it on my focus, which is usually a Mage or a Paladin, and it also takes off my bubbles that I may have on myself so that I'll be damaged from the ability. This is a simple cancel or a Spirit Shell macro, so that after I'm done using Spirit Shell, or actually have to top my teammates, I'll be able to get rid of Spirit Shell quickly. This macro makes it so that when I use Shadow Fiend, it will automatically start attacking the closest enemy and not wasting any time while it's out. This next macro is really useful when I'm fighting against a team with an Unholy Death Knight. What it does is it shackles their main source of damage while they're bursting, which is their Gargoyle. My next macro makes it so that depending on the talent I choose, Siphoned or Dominate Mind, I will always have it on my bars. That's about it for my macros. Now let's go over gear. I'm not going to go into super detail with every piece, but I'm going to tell you the general stat priority that I go by. In my opinion, the most valuable stat for a Disc Priest is Spirit. Up next is Crit, Mastery, followed by Intellect. That's about it for this guide. I'm going to be making a lot more with everything you're going to want to know in an actual arena, so be sure to be subscribed.